An emotional panel for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The High Evolutionary and Adam Warlock. Kang the Conqueror, Maria Hill, a tease of Phase 6, and a shot of MODOK. Marvel Studios returned to Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con and brought their A-game. An ending to Phase 4, a full announcement for Phase 5, and 3 bombshells of movies for Phase 6. And we are here to unpack it all in our 17th edition of the Podcast of Champions. We have a full house today. In fact, almost all current champions on the roster chose to be here to help make sense of it all. Well, let me introduce them to you. Voice only, Lokismom.
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm doing great. I hope you're doing great as well.
Well, I truly am. And I see some lovely faces here joining us today, with the exception of Lord Deathman. But we know what he looks like.
Well, while you introduce Lord Deathman, let me go to him. Mr. Lord Deathman, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Hey, everyone. Glad to be back on the Podcast of Champions.
Oh, good to hear. I'm happy you're back as well. On video, we have from the land down under, Biz. How are you?
Tired. It's early over here, but yeah, can't wait to get started on this. I didn't expect so many announcements, so this is going to be great.
Yeah, here in Central Europe, it's quite late at the moment. Lucky Americans. Well, for you, it's almost dinner time. Merv, how are you doing today?
Very good. Having a good Sunday. Looking forward to talking.
And last, but certainly not least, the fan without fear. I believe he's called Mr. Taylor first. Enjoying your afternoon tea?
I am, and I'm having a great time. What a Comic-Con.
Yes, indeed, it was quite the Comic-Con. Well, we're going to try to unpack it all for you, faithful viewers of the Podcast of Champions, but not before I invite you all to hit that like and subscribe button and maybe consider joining us on Sakar at sakar.freeforums.net. It's a nice little community that we really want to grow. Sign up, join our conversation, and if you are willing, you can join us on the podcast or review. Well, it's time to head into our first segment of the day. And parting is such sweet sorrow. Phase 4 is coming to an end soon, maybe even sooner than we all thought, but it's going to be such an end that it's worthy of discussion. And we're going to do that by discussing the trailers for She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever in a special edition of Trailer Talk. I will start off with the trailer for She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Wow! Jeez, what the hell, man?
Still in control, no overwhelming feelings of rage.
No, a normal amount of rage.
You do revert back to Gen form when you sleep.
Was the air horn really necessary?
For comedy, absolutely. This is a multi-year journey you're about to embark on.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's your best friend?
Nikki.
Spandex. Spandex is your best friend. Being a Hulk asks for balance. You have so much more to learn. Yes!
So I'm clearly nailing it at all of these things.
If you want to go back to your life as a lawyer, I respect that.
He doesn't mean that.
More and more eccentric superhumans are coming out of the woodwork. We're going to launch a division for them, and I want the She-Hulk to be the face of it.
Jennifer Waters. Namaste.
I have a serious conflict of interest. This man tried to kill my cousin, Bruce.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Oh. People only care because I'm representing Emil Blonsky. I think they care because they're like, hey, that girl's great. Jen, do your thing. God, I really like this outfit. I'm not proud of this.
Miss Walters, we answer to a higher power. Our universe is on the edge of a precipice.
I am a lawyer. We do things by the book.
The Book of Ashanti.
No, the Book of American laws.
Whether you like it or not, you're now a superhero.
Let's do this. You know that friend you had in high school who was way cooler than you were attractive, got all the attention from everyone? Hello.
I think I'm jealous. Is that what I'm feeling?
I think we can do this one a little bit more quickly because I think the second one will ignite a little bit more discussion. And I want to start off with Taylor first. What did you think about the trailer for She-Hulk Attorney at Law?
I thought it looked fantastic. It's just going to be a super fun show. There's going to be a lot of deep cuts into unusual Marvel characters that people haven't heard of. It's there's going to be a lot of off the wall characters that people may not know exist. There's going to be a lot of humor. She broke the fourth wall once in the thing, so that's in keeping with her persona from the comics. I just think it's going to be a really fun series and just kind of its own little quirky corner of the MCU, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, actually, I believe she broke the fourth wall twice, but in that short trailer. Moving on to Loki's mom. Loki's mom, you saw the trailer. What did you think?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think this would be something that would appeal to a Marvel fan like me, and I kind of got that rom-com sort of feel to it. A little. You guys are too young for this, but Bruce Willis, when he was very young, did a TV show with Cheryl Shepard that was kind of had that same sort of back and forth between the male and female who were, I think they were detectives. So I sort of got that from that. And of course, we're going to have Mark Ruffalo and Tim Roth is in it. And so it just looks going to be really mixing the Marvel, but also with some of the street level stuff that's going on with folks.
Yeah, and we also get Wong again, and a lot of other cameos were teased during the panel. Biz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I liked it. Looks fun. I have no doubt there's going to be some green fetishes, as you can expect. But yeah, like as soon as I saw Attorney at Law, I'm like, because it kind of reminded me of like that Futurama episode where they were making fun of that kind of trope where it's like single female lawyer. She is single, female, and a lawyer. It's like, okay. But it looks fun. I liked it. We've seen more Mark Ruffalo. That was great.
Mm-hmm. Lord Deathman, is it Ally McBeal, but then with superheroes? Daredevil.
I never watched Ally McBeal, so I know that's a beloved show that a lot of people recall fondly. But I really enjoyed the trailer. I used to collect She-Hulk comic books. It was kind of a nice break from some of the serious crossover stuff that was going on and was really popular when I was collecting. It was nice to take a break with that character and kind of have some comedy and poking fun at it. And it seems like they're doing exactly that in the series. I really think they executed the double take, the first of the two double takes and the breaking of the fourth wall that you see perfectly. That the motion capture, the expression in the eyes, this was really a poke in the eye of all of the people who were hypercritical of the CGI from the first trailers. This stuff really looks good. If not in, like sort of photorealistic CGI, it certainly looks good in terms of like how they're capturing the expressions and the motion and the animation. So yeah, I'm keen on this, and a lot more keen than I thought I would be when I first heard about this series. It felt like a throwaway when they kind of showed the logo and the announcement, but now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, okay, I think I'm all in on this.
Okay. Merv.
Yeah, the show looks hilarious. It looks like its comedy is gonna be right up my alley. And then I'm just also really excited for how much it seems to be embedded in the MCU. Like there's a lot of between Hulk and the Abomination and the Wong verse, he's been in everything in like Phase 4, little cameos here and there. And then I believe that's the first shot that we saw of Daredevil at the end of that trailer. It looked like he's going to have at least some kind of aspect of his original costume with the yellow sleeves. And I'm really excited to see that. So even if it's just a little thing, because she's a lawyer, he's a lawyer. So, I'm excited for a lot of things about this, just to see. It seems like it's going to be like something of a centerpiece of a lot of different MCU properties. And I like that, even if it's just a lighthearted take on a lot of stuff, but it looks fun.
Yeah, you think Wong is the Nick Fury of Phase 4, 5, and 6?
If he turns out to be the evil Skrull Queen or something, that'll be a mic drop,
Well, we get to that in our second segment, maybe. Well, I think the She-Hulk trailer was hilarious and funny, and it looks like a lot of fun. And no doubt we're going to review it, but I think we're all waiting to discuss that amazing, and I'm speaking my mind first, amazing trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Hey, little darling, don't shed no tear. No woman, no cry. Good friends we have, and good friends we've lost along the way. In this great future, you can't forget your past. So dry your tears, I say.
I got chills and tears when I watched it the first time, and until this, I've seen it now 5 or 6 times, and I think I can't keep my eyes dry when I watch it. It's too emotional. Lord Deathman, to you the honor of doing your first unpacking of that trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
All right, I'm timing myself so I don't step on the fellow panelists in terms of their commentary. But that being said, I'm not a guy who's like especially into trailers, just as like people respect them as an art form and they use them to get really hyped up about something. But I knew with this particular project that that first trailer, the teaser, was going to be super important to whether I was going to be on board for this or whether I was not. The first frame of the first trailer, really. And they really knocked it out of the park. I think we've always had two roads to go down as far as Chadwick Boseman's passing. One, the very logical and pragmatic track of saying, let's just recast him and continue to tell stories about T'Challa. And then we've had the second path, which is to somehow acknowledge the death of Chadwick Boseman and bring that emotion. This is less of a logical way to approach things, but it's much more emotional. You sort of get to acknowledge your collaborator's death in a way that, that imprints itself onto the material, emotional road. So we've had these two roads to go down, and there's this false dichotomy where you think I have to pick. I have to say, either one of them could have resulted in a great film. If we'd have recast him and got somebody else to do the claws and all the really cool stuff, stepping into a hail of gunfire, you could have had a great sophomore effort in this franchise. But I also think that by killing the character, which is what they're going to do, there's no more mental gymnastics about how the character is going to come back in some special way. He's gone, and we have to acknowledge that in the franchise. I've also thought that having it as an anthology series about the idea of the Black Panther and not just about T'Challa is equally valid creatively. And it took me a long time to get there. It really did, because I was staunchly in the let's recast, and I didn't want to hear what the other side had to say about their feelings and their emotions and whatever else, was going on with them. But now that I see the approach to it, and I'm at 2 minutes and 30 seconds in terms of my comments, I'm going to take another 30 seconds here. Now that I've seen how he's approached it, now that I've watched this trailer, and I know people have their laundry lists. Does he have the helmet? Does he have the belt? Is he gonna, do the thing and say the lines? And that's what trailers are about for 90% of the fandom. Is it gonna meet my laundry list of desires? But he treats that material so, for material that seems to be about superheroes and superhuman things and all these incredible things that are happening, his version of this storytelling is very human and humanistic. And I think that's going to make for a very rewarding film. And honestly, I think this is where the franchise needed to kind of get back to and move away from the slapstick and the goofball and let's tell a dramatic story here. So I thought the trailer was great, and I'm on board for this vision of it.
Yeah, there are a few trailers in the MCU that really stand out. The second one for Civil War comes to mind. The first one for Infinity War. But I think this is right on that level. Don't you agree, Biz?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'd hardly use the word epic, but that's what this trailer was. It was all awesome. I liked for example, the music blended really well. I mean, the score blended really well with the trailer. There were certainly dramatic moments. The cat's out the bag now. Namor is officially in the MCU. That's always great. There's been rumors in the past that Namor's going to show up in this movie, he's going to show up in that movie. Finally, he's here. I'm happy to see that. How they'll handle him is going to be interesting. Like, obviously, I'm not the first to point out that there are some differences. Hopefully, they can do that well. But yeah, it's interesting. We saw a little bit of BP at the end. It's going to be. I'm not entirely sure that's going to be. What's his name? M'Baku, because he's a little bit stockier, and that unless he lost some weight. But yeah, totally. What a blast, this trailer. I'm totally looking forward to it. It looks like one of the best trailers out of Phase 4, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's in my top 3 Marvel Cinematic Universe trailers. I saw the Grandmaster was on TikTok again, and he shouldn't do that, but he was. And he saw one that says it's definitely a woman because something was missing between the spreading legs. So we don't know who's going to be the new Black Panther, but there's a high chance it will be a woman. Then again, we know Marvel Studios, they CGI out a lot of stuff, so you never know. Maybe they CGI that as well. Lokismom, what did you think about the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer?
Yeah, I agree with the other Biz and Lord Deathman. I think it's really well done trailer. I think trying to handle the issue with Chadwick Boseman, you know, they just sort of made it reverential right off the bat, very almost. I'm assuming she's being inducted, she's being coronated or whatever it is when she's all in white. I'm not real sure what's going on there, but I'm assuming that. And it just sort of flows into that, and then it gets into more of the action. And here she's now the queen of her people, and she has to take charge and fill whatever she can to her brother's role and what he means, and not only what he means to and within the story, within the narrative, but to the fans coming back. So I think she's going to have a huge challenge just in that. Like I say, yeah, the trailer is really well done. I mean, you kind of get a good idea of what's going to be coming into the movie. And, you know, as you point out, Grandmaster, that trailers can be a little deceptive, and they throw a lot of stuff in, maybe and misdirect and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to this. You know, I kind of had some issues coming up with what's been going on with Marvel, and I think just this whole show is going to kind of address that and going forward. So yeah, I'll give it high marks. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Merv, I want to know.
As far as the trailer itself, the music choice was great. I love that Bob Marley song remix. I don't know who does the remix, but slowing it down was a good move. Really lends the emotion. And for everyone who was like upset with how funny Thor 4 was, this looks like to be the exact opposite. So here goes your drama, here goes your sadness, here goes your, you know, serious movie. It looks to be very serious, and for a good reason. You know, it looks like it's dealing with obviously the fallout of T'Challa's death, but then it looks like Wakanda's at war with Atlantis. You bring all the fish people into it, and as Biz said, you know, now that Namor's into it, you missed the perfect opportunity to say the fish is out of the bowl instead of the cat's out of the bag. But you know, it looks really fun, and I wasn't a huge. You know, I found the first Black Panther movie more middling than great. So, and a lot of fans find it to be like in their top 10 or whatever. And I was a little bit more in the middle ground of it. But this one looks like a lot of fun. And they were going to have trouble with part of the fan base, no matter which way they chose to go with it. So I'm just hopeful they can do a good job. And it looks like they're off to a great first step. Like if this trailer is any inkling of the movie itself, then it's going to be very entertaining and probably very emotional as well, you know, with everything that happened with Chadwick Boseman. But I'm looking forward to it. It looks like a great film.
Yeah, it looks like an epic film. Don't you agree, Taylor?
Absolutely. It looks huge. I mean, it's massive. Just in that little short trailer, there was some amazing scenes in there. And even though we knew ahead of time, just the fact that, you know, Namor the Submariner is in the MCU, that in itself is huge, because he's such a very old and very popular character, and very important character in the history of Marvel Comics. And it looks like they are fully bringing Atlantis into this thing. I mean, some of the shots were really incredible. The underwater footage looked amazing, and riding on whales. And Namor himself, now they changed his costume up a little bit, but he's still Namor. He still has I don't know if you call them wings or fins on his ankles. So very much that character. I just don't even know where to begin with this trailer. It appears to be massive. There appears to be, like Merv said, a big conflict between Wakanda and Atlantis, which of course, you know, has implications for the world. There also appears to be other stuff going on as far, you know, because there were a lot of shots of, you know, human activity, not just, or I should say, humans other than Wakandans and Atlanteans activity going on on the ocean and on the land. So obviously we don't know much about the story at this point, other than it's going to be epic and gigantic. The early scenes, which obviously was, confirming that T'Challa is dead. I had a different impression than Loki's mom had. I assumed that the scenes where they were all in white and dancing, that was in fact a funeral as opposed to a coronation. Maybe they do them both at the same time, since one leader dies and another leader is crowned. But I assume that was part of the funeral ceremony, the funeral traditions. But anyway, it looks like it's going to be very emotional and also action-packed. So it's not going to be a 2-hour drama about coping with loss. I mean, obviously there's going to be some of that, but there's also going to be some massive superhero visuals and action, and just really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, the first Black Panther movie wasn't the most funny movie of all, which I actually appreciate, Merv, for your information. It's in my top 5 MCU movies, or MCU at all. And this looks like it's an absolute winner for Marvel Studios, which I am surprised that I'm saying, because I was very skeptical. Mr. Lord Deathman, you had a follow-up.
Just quickly wanted to acknowledge some of the fantastic cameos. With Namor, one of my all-time favorite characters of any comic book publisher, so it's going to be great to see the live-action interpretation. I love the design. That being said, it also looks like they're doing me one better. In Civil War, when we bought in Black Panther, we kind of are introduced to the character as he is in contemporary times. But with Namor, it looks like they're going to actually start this journey from his birth and take us to the adult version of that character. I loved seeing Ironheart there. I know she doesn't get a lot of love from the fans or the fandom, but I think she's a great fit for this particular movie, and I'm looking forward to see what she brings to the table. And lastly, the designs of the Atlanteans look spectacular. So a lot to look forward to with this movie.
Yeah, we have seen other movies, underwater realms, Atlantis before, riding sharks and whatever it was, and now we're riding whales. I mean, that's even more impressive. So yeah, it looks really great. Taylor?
Yeah, I think that's South Atlantis or something you're talking about there, where they ride the seahorses. Could be 2 different parts of Atlantis, but yeah, I liked that the Atlanteans, other than Namor, who we, for those of you who don't know from the comic history, is only half Atlantean, I believe, in the comics, or at least in most versions of the comics. The other Atlanteans appear to have blue skin, or a bluish skin to them, which is, again, I'm going back to my childhood recollections of last time I looked at these comics, but I believe that is in line with the comics also, that they did have a bluish tinge to their skin.
Merv?
Also worth noting, I don't know if they'll bring it up, but Namor it might be a recent revelation that he's also mutant. Like his human half is mutant, I guess, or something. I'm not really sure how it all ties together, but I'm wondering if, now that they've mentioned mutants in the Ms. Marvel show, if that'll be like a small piece of information that we get as they start filtering mutants into the world, or whatever their choice is.
Yeah, could be. Actually, we will get back to mutants later on in the podcast, as you all know. Well, with that being said, I think we should close out our first section called Trailertalk. We are done discussing the end of Phase 4.